Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Laubach along with John Leone. This is Behind the Mic, and we're behind the mic getting ready for college basketball. This time we're talking men's basketball. Fran O'Hanlon in his 24th season, there's nothing he hasn't seen, John, so he's obviously, I'm sure, looking forward to this year.
There's no question about that, Gary. I've talked to Fran. I've watched the guys, and a combination of the returning players, and I think he's really excited about a couple of things. Obviously the freshman group from last year was exciting. You'll talk about them in a moment, I'm sure. But also the incoming group, and I think that Fran kind of has isolated a 3-year span here. Last year, this year, and next year. Obviously, they want to win every game, every time they lace them up. But I think this team is on a great trajectory, especially given the promising freshmen from last year and, of course, a couple of key additions this year.
And obviously a couple of key spots to replace. You don't replace a Matt Klinuski. He's one of the best that has played the game here at Lafayette, and he was our inside presence. Inside presence could be our problem. I'll talk to John in a minute about that. Point guard Eric Stafford. He obviously ran the offense. Fran's offense is not easy to run, and he had 4 years in which to learn it and to do it. And, John, I think that onus is going to be put on Justin Jaworski this year.
Yeah, and again, Justin Jaworski and Alex Petrie especially, they were two kids that stepped on the court, and never once did they look like freshmen. So that was the thing that stood out. They had this swag about them. They were confident, and their basketball IQ was off the charts, which helps. And, you know, E.J. Stevens, I'm telling you, Gary, this young man has emerged, and there's been quite a buzz about what he's doing in the preseason. He's athletic. He can create his own shot. Fran's offense, as you suggested, it's complex. It's a passing game. You've got to read and react. The one thing that it has lacked in the past is that guy that can put the ball on the floor and take it to the basket. Now, we've had guys be able to do that.
Nick Linder, huh?
Well, I know, exactly. But there were times when even Nick, given the circumstances, tried to do a little too much with it. And I think that EJ has that balance. He knows when to go, when not to go, how not to interrupt the system so he can play to his strengths without compromising the way Fran wants to play.
And certainly looking for a great year out of Kyle Stout. If he can start hitting his outside jump shot and take it to the hole, he's got good size at 6'6". It certainly will be an important factor. Well, we solve maybe the backcourt problems, the wing problems. How do we solve the center, or in this case, probably a non-center? But we do have a freshman, Sean Good, at 6'10", but he's not the widest guy yet, and he certainly isn't the most experienced.
Well, I would suggest to you that the most physical player in the league last year might have been Matt Klinuski, and we graduated him. So it's not a problem yet. Obviously, when you lose a Matt Klinuski and the leadership that Eric Stafford brought in the backcourt, it's a question. But they love Sean Good. Now, Sean Good is a freshman from Central Pennsylvania. The thing Fran likes about him best is that he can catch it and he can pass it. He's about 6'11". He needs some weight, obviously. But in the meantime, there's Miles Cherry, who has a wealth of experience. And in the preseason, the young man that I was most impressed with, I was impressed with him last year as a freshman. He wasn't quite ready physically. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say keep your eye on Dylan Hastings. Dylan Hastings has put on a few pounds. He could use a few dozen more, but he's just that. He's got springy feet. He's a sponge. He wants to learn. Watch the way he runs off the court, whether it's a substitution or a timeout. He's just full of energy, and he played very well in the early season scrimmages and practices, and I think he's an X factor. Is he a low post presence? Probably not, but you know, Gary, teams are going to have to worry about matching up with him at 6'8", because he can knock down threes.
The freshman coming in, Tyrone Perry, he's out of Florida. Jay Vaughn out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Isaac Suffren from North Carolina. And Sean Good out of Camp Hill, PA. And Michael Anekwe, who is out of Nigeria. So a very interesting mix of freshmen to go along with what is a very young team. Only a couple of seniors on this basketball team. So from two seniors to all of you, we will have college basketball coming your way in just about a week. So make sure you watch football, you watch basketball on the Lafayette Sports Network. I'm Gary, he's John, thanks.